Morning, it's Monty from Sportive Cyclist, the mammal channel, and in this video I thought I would talk to you about my Wahoo ELEMNT bolt and specifically explain why I bought this over the Wahoo ELEMNT, talk a little bit more about why I really like this bike computer. So let's get into it. Part of the reason for doing this video is that the comparison of the Wahoo ELEMNT bolt with the original ELEMNT is the subject of a post that I wrote on the blog back in, August 2017. So this was before I bought this. I do tend to write up my notes when I do some research into which bike computer or indeed any sort of thing to do with the bike. I tend to write it as a post for the benefit of readers, and I thought I'd do a video in case you would find it useful for the same. My previous bike computer, which was a Garmin Edge 510, had given up the ghost, and so I thought I would get something new. So first of all, who's Wahoo? They are a US-based bike technology company. Listening to a podcast recently, I discovered that the chap that owned the company was making products for the for the boating industry. Somehow or other, I think they developed one of the first Bluetooth heart rate straps and discovered that Apple was about to put Bluetooth Lite, I think it's called, into one of the earlier iPhones, and they were able to launch their heart rate strap at the same time and jump on the Apple bandwagon and grow that. The ELEMNT was their first fully fledged bike computer, which I don't know when that came out, but a few years ago. They've moved on to making trainers, so they make the Kicker and the Kicker Snap. Anyway, back to this. Both the Bolt and the ELEMNT are GPS bike computers, so they use both the GPS and other satellite networks in order to determine where they are at any given moment. That then allows you to track the route that you take whilst you've got it activated on your bike. Also uses GPS to calculate speeds, so in the event that you don't have a speed sensor on the bike itself, it'll tell you what speed you're going at. Talking about sensors, the other thing that GPS bike computers tend to do is that they communicate with various sensors that you can secrete about your bike and about your person. So talking about the speed sensor, cadence, power meters, heart rate straps, pretty much every data sensor that can be fitted to a bike or your person can communicate with both of these. So there's not much in it between the two. Both the Bolt and the ELEMNT are monochrome screens, so they're not colour. If you want a colour screen, you'll need to go for the newer ELEMNT Roam. It's pretty light conditions here, but one of the attractions of So one of the attractions of the Bolt and indeed the ELEMNT is that they have really contrasty screens, so you can very easily see whilst out on the bike in quite bright conditions. You can see all of the data that is on the screen, so it doesn't suffer from glare. You can see the size of it here. You can increase the number of data fields. You can reduce it rather right down to 1. You can increase the number of data fields right up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, I think you can do 10, but it's only showing 9 on there. That's the same between the ELEMNT and the Bolt. Oh yes, looking back at my post, I can now see the sensor compatibility piece. Both devices can connect to sensors using ANT+, which is the sort of Garmin, I think it's owned by Garmin, but the Garmin standard, and then the increasingly used Bluetooth Smart, which is the more up-to-date name for Bluetooth LE or BLE. They're both set up primarily using the app on your phone. Again, looking professional, here it is. And in fact, this is I think one of the best things about the Wahoo ecosystem is the app. So you can see loading up now, so my phone is frozen. Apple fail. That's a bummer. One of the best things about Wahoo's bike computers is the phone app. Now I've got an iPhone, so it's on the iPhone, the iOS platform, and basically you can set up pretty much everything on the device using the phone. In fact, they demand that you do. So it's connected now, and you can add different custom pages of data. You can select which pages are showing, whether the map screen shows, the climbing screen. On each page you can pick which of the data fields are actually shown on the device itself. So both the Element Bolt and the Element use that, so no difference there. Both of them get call and text notifications, so if I get a text message on the iPhone, it appears on the screen here, and indeed if I get a phone call through the iPhone, this starts ringing in a rather surprising and shocking way. I don't know. It surprised me the first time it happened. They both can control indoor trainers, so they both have the ANT plus FE-C protocol that's generally used for indoor trainers and the like. So if you are a Zwift user, other training platforms are available, then this is fine. They both integrate with all the usual cycling training apps, so your Stravas, your Training Peaks, your Ride with GPS, etc. They all sync quite nicely. So what is different? Well, the Element is slightly bigger, so it's got a larger screen. This is apparently 2.2 inches in size. The Element is 2.7. I must admit, I've never once thought this is too small in terms of screen real estate. It doesn't have the ability to create a route on the device itself. For that, you would use the phone. I've never felt that I needed more screen and the ability to see more in order to do that. If I'm going to do a revised route whilst out on the road, then I just use either my map on here or the app or something, which clearly there's plenty of screen space in that. Because it's bigger, the Element is slightly heavier, so it's a full 39.2 grams heavier than the Bolt. 39.2 grams is approximately the weight of a big bag of crisps, so I would suggest that the way to save that amount of weight is not to pick between two bike computers. It's probably to lose that weight yourself, or not to carry around a bag of crisps. They both have pretty similar battery life, so both between 15-17 hours. Don't know about you, but I've never ridden for 15 or 17 hours, so more than happy with the amount of battery life for both. I don't know how important this really is, whether it's really been tested in a wind tunnel, but one of the things that they do say, that Wahoo does say about the Bolt, is that it's more aero. It comes with one of these, the front mounted, the sort of handlebar mount that holds it in front of the bike. You can sort of see that it's sculpted on the back here. You can put it onto this aero mount and it clips in like this and then forms a smooth backdrop there, if you can see that. Interesting factoid whilst we're talking about this, you won't be able to see it particularly well, but there's a little screw hole there, and they do supply this screw here. That is to allow you basically to screw the bike computer, the Bolt, to the aero mount, and by putting that screw in, it's deemed to be a permanent addition to the bike. When you go and have your UCI weigh-in as a professional, it counts towards the overall weight of the bike, i.e. you can use this to make weight on the bike, because a lot of pro bikes weigh less than the UCI limit and they have to add ballast. What else is different? I don't know if you can really see here, but this has got, he says, oh, we can see an LED going there. So this has got LEDs that go along the top of the screen here. The Bolt only has one set of LEDs that run across the top of the screen. The full Element has two. It has one at the top and one at the side here. I'm not really sure what Element users use them for, but for me it wasn't an important element, so Element, that wasn't a deciding factor. What was a deciding factor at the time was the Element Bolt cost £50 less than the Element. Now both of these devices are somewhat old. I suppose they've been out for a good couple of years, and we have the Element Roam more recently, so actually I think they're pretty much available for the same price these days. Cost really isn't a factor anymore. To summarise, I suppose there's not a great deal in it. The Element is slightly bigger. For me, I prefer the Element Bolt. It's slightly sleeker. does absolutely everything that I need it to do. If you are in the market for a bike computer, I would heartily recommend it. It's a neat little device, fits nicely on this aero mount, and clearly we want to be as aero as possible. Aero. That's it really. Now, do you own either the Bolt or the First Element, or indeed the Roam? If you do and you have some comments, some views, do let me know about those in the comment section below this video. Links to both the Bolt and the Element, other things I've mentioned, will also be in the description, as will be the link to the post on my blog. I've been Monty, you've been watching Sportive Cyclist, the mammal channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Oh, before I forget, if you like this video, do please hit subscribe. No. If you like this video, please do hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe and also click the notifications on button so that you see when I post the next video. And maybe I'll see you out on the road. Till next time, see you later.